Hi everyone, it's Ashley. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. I came into my craft room tonight to make a piece of fall decor. I showed in a earlier video of mine, I did recently a haul from Hobby Lobby. This is one of the things that I got. Let me set this vinyl over to the side. We'll be using this a little later. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It came in a pack of 3. So it's just an unfinished wood, and I got it when their wood pile was 40% off. So it was a 3-pack, and I believe it was like $8.99 for 3 of them. So I thought that was a really good buy. I love to pick these up. So on this side, it's just flat, unfinished wood. And then on the other side, it was still unfinished, but on this side, it has like a frame. The idea was to paint the back of this. I taped off the frame around it. Not very well because I did get a little bit of paint on the sides. But just like everything else in my home, it's not perfect and it will fit right in, so that's no problem for me. I was going to give this just one quick coat of my moss chalk paint from Waverly. However, when I went to open it up, assuming it was just old and kind of dried up. So it was really thick and I couldn't get it really to come out of the bottle. So what I ended up doing was I finally just kind of scraped some out and I mixed it with water, and then I painted it on that way just to kind of thin the paint out. And I actually really like the look because it gave it kind of a almost like whitewashed look, but obviously with green with the moss color. So it's just a really light, not even like, you can still see a lot of that wood grain coming through. It looks a little streaky on camera, but in person it looks really nice, and I really like the way that that came out and the effect it gave me. So I already have a design picked out for this. So really quickly, before we head into design space, let's just go ahead and get a measurement so we know exactly how much room we have to work with inside of our square. And because I picked the side that has the frame, right, it looks more framed out, it's not going to be exactly 12 by 12. So this looks like it's going to be closer to 11 by 11 on the side that is framed. So let's see, just because I'm curious, they did say they were 12-inch squares. Yep, so just something to note. They are 12-inch on the side that is flat, and I'm sure maybe the side that you're like supposed to use or most people would use, but I turned it this way. I like the more framed look better, although I will absolutely also be using this side of the sign once I am ready to change it out. But for this look, I wanted to go with the frame side, and the inside of this is 11 by 11. Now that we have our measurement, let's go ahead and hop into design space and I'll show you the project I found for this. All right, so jumping into design space, bringing this design in, it came in really big. So since this is going to be a larger design, I'm going to go ahead and just scale my canvas back so we can get a nice clear picture of what we're working on. Let's go ahead and grab a shape. I'm going to grab a square, and I will make this 11 by 11, and that is the size of our blank. And then I'm just going to make this a really nice soft green here. This I found in the project section of Design Space. Someone designed this and I just absolutely fell in love with it as soon as I saw it. I think it is so well done. I absolutely love it. This is the name of it here, Autumn Monogram Wood Panel. Like I said, it isn't a project, so I'm pretty sure if you search this, it should come up, and the designer who made this should come up, and chef's kiss. It is just great. I think it is so cute. So I'm going to right click, bring this to the front, and then we will just size this out. So that actually looks really nice to me. I made my square 11 by 11. So I know that this is the inside of my frame that I have to work with. And then I like to bring my design just a little in. I don't want it too close to the sides. And also because we are setting it in the side with the frame, we want to give ourselves just a little bit of room so we have some space to work with, right? This sizing actually looks really good. I'm super happy with that. That was so easy. I love it. Now I'm going to change this to our monogram, which is a M. So I'm just going to double click, and then I will just make this an M, and then I will color it white as well. Since my M is obviously a different shape than the K, it doesn't fit right as nicely as the K did. So I'm just going to kind of unlock this, and I'm just going to size this within this area here where they had the K. I'm just going to kind of size that to work for the letter that I'm using for my monogram, which is an M. So I want to make this, I think it can stand to be just a little bit taller. And that looks really nice to me. And I actually think the placement looks really good as well. I'm going to call it good because I will just mess around until I drive myself nuts. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this all together so that my Cricut will cut it exactly as it is here. Since I'm only using the one color, I'm just going to use white. I just want everything to cut exactly as it is, and that will help me with laying it down. To make it, it will bring it all into one mat here, which is great. And for our base material, we will hit premium vinyl, and I will get this cut out. Well, I will tell you that design did take a little bit to cut. I have a Cricut Explore Air 2, so the newer machines I've heard are faster, like if you use smart materials. I'm not sure on regular materials, but it is an intricate design and it is pretty big. So it did take a minute, but I just know it's gonna be so cute. And it looks like it did a great job. We will just begin to weed this starting in a corner. I will just carefully get this started here. This is Oracle 651, and I've always had really good luck with this vinyl. It is absolutely my favorite. So I always order like the white and the black and like the bulk rolls, just because I know that I use a lot of it and I know that this brand has worked really well for me. So if I want to get like a color that I'm not sure about or I'm experimenting with, I will definitely use like another brand for those. But my basic, usually opt for the Oracle 651. It is so nice. And it's really nice because I use a lot of white vinyl. It's really nice because they put their white vinyl on a blue backer, which Cricut does not. Cricut puts theirs on a white backer. And oh my goodness, when I tell you the difference it makes is huge. We'll just go in and start weeding our middles here. It looks like I got all of my middles weeded. I'm just going through and double checking to be sure. And just because I'm not sure if I said it or not, this is the matte Oracle permanent vinyl, the 651. Bringing in my transfer tape, I will just grab some of this and I'm going to cut my transfer tape to the size of this design because I know for sure I don't have any scraps this large. Coming in, I will just grab a corner of my transfer tape here. Taking that corner, I will turn this over and I will fold this carrier sheet back away from my transfer tape. And I will try to get it just to one of my grid marks there, just to try to help myself with the placement. I try to help myself in that area as much as I can because it is not my strong suit. Bringing in my project, I'm just gonna lay down just that little strip that we exposed, right? We'll get that on as straight as we possibly can. And then I will just grab my carrier sheet. I'm just gonna pull that down, laying it right onto my design. I'm just going to burnish this down, kind of starting from the middle, down, and then up. Perfect. All right, so just continue to burnish this down. And I'm going to do front and back. Just burnishing that down really nicely. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim off the bottom here. And I will just set this to the side. I'll put it back on my carrier sheet and we can save this. So now I'm just gonna go in, pulling my carrier sheet away from the vinyl. Hopefully all of that vinyl will lay down really nicely. If any pieces wanna come up, like here, this leaf wants to stay on my carrier sheet, if you guys can see that. So I will just kind of fold my carrier sheet and try to get that vinyl to come away from it while I'm also pushing down. And that usually is enough to get the vinyl to kind of lay down. You can also bring in your weeding tool. You can also bring back in your scraper if there seems to be like maybe an area that you didn't get enough pressure. So far, this has worked exactly like I was hoping. So that is always nice. So bringing back in our blank, I'm going to just take our design. You're gonna wanna hold it. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna grab a piece of parchment paper. It is a larger design and I'm having to put it inside of the frame. So I don't want it to accidentally fall in and then I'm committed, right? So I'm just gonna grab a piece of parchment paper. I'll lay that down. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to set this right on top. I'm gonna leave just a tiny little bit at the top exposed. So just like that, that's how much I have exposed at the top of my parchment paper. What I'm gonna do is I am going to kind of set this in. Now it's hard because my parchment paper is larger than my frame. I could trim it, but I'm just gonna kind of tuck it in and this will just allow me to see my placement, right? So sorry, the parchment paper is really noisy. We will just lay this down. Looks pretty good, huh? And then bring it back in my scraper. I will just kind of start in the middle again. And then I like to do kind of one half or the other. So I'll just kind of start from the middle. I'll go up, out, down, out. Go in the center, really get that M down. And it looks like I have a little piece of scrap vinyl that made its way onto my blank, but no problem. I will just grab that when we take off our transfer tape. So grabbing our weeding tool, I will carefully, oh, perfect. It stayed on our transfer tape, so even better. So I'll just grab a corner really carefully, and then we will just start to peel this back. You're gonna wanna go slow, just make sure everything's staying down. But this is working beautifully so far. Looks like I might need a little extra pressure right at the bottom. It came out exactly like I was picturing it. I probably could have done a little better on my paint job, but so is life. I am so happy with how it came out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.